The NBA has handed out suspensions following a chaotic melee between the Detroit Pistons and Minnesota Timberwolves on Sunday. 5 players were suspended as a result of the brawl that erupted in the second quarter. Pistons forward last center Isaiah Stewart received a 2-game suspension, while Detroit's Ron Holland-Sick and guard Marcus Sasser, as well as Minnesota's Naz Reid and guard Donte DiVincenzo, were suspended for 1 game each. The incident began when, with 8:36 remaining in the second quarter, Ron Holland-Sick committed a foul on Naz Reid as Reid attempted a layup. Reid retaliated verbally and gestured angrily, prompting DiVincenzo, positioned nearby, to step in between the 2 players. Tensions escalated quickly. DiVincenzo put his hands on Holland's torso, and a physical exchange ensued with hard shoves traded between the 2. As the situation intensified, DiVincenzo grabbed Holland by the shoulders and wrestled him to the ground. What started as a one-on-one altercation soon snowballed into a full-scale melee, with multiple players and coaches from both teams joining the fray. The scuffle even spilled over into the baseline stands behind the Pistons' basket, where some individuals got involved, while others, like Minnesota's Rudy Gobert, attempted to break up the brawl. The chaos saw DiVincenzo and Stewart rejoin the fray in the stands, with fans nearby bracing themselves for the mayhem. Ultimately, the confrontation resulted in 7 ejections, including key figures such as Pistons head coach J.B. Bickerstaff, Timberwolves assistant Pablo Prigioni, as well as Reid, DiVincenzo, Stewart, Holland, and Sasser. After the game, Bickerstaff criticized Prigioni for his remarks, emphasizing that he would not allow his players to be disparaged. "We're going to defend each other," Bickerstaff said, acknowledging that while he understood the referee's decisions at the moment, such conduct simply wasn't acceptable. On the court, Detroit was leading 39-29 when the fight broke out. However, the Pistons found themselves down by 3 players after the melee, while the Timberwolves were shorthanded by 2. Capitalizing on their numerical advantage, Minnesota outscored Detroit by 29 points following the incident, ultimately winning the game 123-104. In addition to the suspensions, the game was marred by technical fouls, 4 issued to the Pistons and 3 to the Timberwolves. The technicals resulted in free throws. Minnesota's Mike Conley converted 1, and Pistons' Luka Garza later hit 2 free throws following a technical on Reid after his ejection. Despite the disruptions, the game continued with roughly 3 quarters still to play. The suspensions are set to take effect, with Naz Reid and Donte DiVincenzo missing Tuesday's game against the Denver Nuggets, while Ron Holland-Sick, Marcus Sasser, and Isaiah Stewart begin serving their suspensions on Wednesday. Stewart's longer suspension was influenced by his previous disciplinary history, according to NBA Executive Vice President Joe Dumars. This melee and its aftermath underscore the intensity of competition in the NBA and serve as a stark reminder of the league's commitment to maintaining order and discipline on the court. In a twist that no one saw coming, the heated feud between ESPN's Stephen A. Smith and NBA superstar LeBron James has taken an unexpected turn that has everyone talking. The controversy began when Smith made controversial remarks regarding LeBron's parenting style, particularly criticizing the way he handles the upbringing of his son, Bronny, who is now following in his father's footsteps in the NBA. Smith's comments, which many considered not only inflammatory but also an unwarranted intrusion into James' personal life, quickly escalated into a public spat that has captured the attention of sports fans nationwide. The drama reached new heights when LeBron James himself decided to set the record straight by appearing on Pat McAfee's show. During the interview, James recounted the exchange that took place during a recent Los Angeles Lakers game against the New York Knicks. According to James, what began as a series of offhand comments by Smith quickly spiraled into a confrontation that left him feeling disrespected. In a moment that many compared to a viral Cat Williams rant, James's candid disclosure on McAfee's platform added a new dimension to the feud, providing rare insight into the NBA superstar's perspective. Smith, known for his bombastic style and uncompromising opinions, has often been criticized for embellishing his views, causing many to question the authenticity of his commentary. His past remarks, such as claiming that LeBron did not attend Kobe Bryant's funeral, only intensified the backlash as fans and fellow athletes alike voiced their disapproval. Critics argue that Smith's approach not only distorts the truth, but also fuels unnecessary drama, distracting from the real achievements on the court. As the saga unfolds, fans seem to be enjoying every moment of this unexpected comedy drama, with social media lighting up with memes and commentary. Meanwhile, questions are being raised about ESPN's editorial choices and whether the network's desire for sensational headlines is pushing personalities like Stephen A. Smith into even more controversial territory. One thing is clear in today's media landscape, where every comment is scrutinized, the fallout from this feud serves as a cautionary tale about mixing personal opinions with public discourse. For now, the feud continues to spark debate, leaving fans to wonder if this will mark a turning point in how sports media covers the personal lives of its biggest stars. In a game that could easily be described as a masterclass in offensive efficiency, the Milwaukee Bucks set a new single-game field goal percentage record, the highest since 1998. Facing a Phoenix Suns team that had looked formidable on paper, the Bucks responded by converting 68.9% of their shots, 51 of 74, in a 133-123 victory on Tuesday night. That mark hasn't been seen since March 13, 1998, when the LA Clippers shot 69.3% in a 152-120 win over the Toronto Raptors. Giannis Antetokounmpo fired up his teammates with a rallying cry before the game. "I kept saying to my teammates, 'We're fighting for our lives. We're fighting for our lives,'" he recalled. Although his words might have sounded dramatic, they reflected the Bucks' mindset. Coming off a painful 145-124 loss to Atlanta, a game in which they surrendered the most points all season, the Bucks knew a win was essential. With seven-time All-NBA guard Damian Lillard's return still uncertain due to deep vein thrombosis in his right calf, every win counted. The Bucks' success on Tuesday wasn't solely about Giannis's leadership, however. Each of the 8 players who took the floor shot at least 50% from the field. Antetokounmpo himself contributed 37 points, 11 assists, and 6 rebounds, going 12 of 18 from the field. Ryan Rollins lit it up, scoring 23 points while shooting 8 of 10 overall and 5 of 7 from three-point range. Brook Lopez, celebrating his 37th birthday, had an efficient night with 22 points on 10 of 13 shooting. The team also made a season-high 58.6% of their three-point attempts, knocking down 17 of 29 from beyond the arc. "This was our best first quarter this season, scoring 44 points in the opening frame," Lopez said. "We really started moving the ball, sharing it, and taking advantage of our size in transition." The Bucks capitalized on their offensive momentum, although they nearly watched Phoenix erase a 21-point second-half lead. The Suns trimmed the margin to just 4 points before Rollins's clutch three-pointer with 1:09 left put the game firmly in Milwaukee's hands. Despite committing 20 turnovers and struggling defensively, allowing Phoenix 24 second-chance points, the Bucks managed to rally, showcasing resilience and an ability to execute under pressure. "We're so close to being an incredible offensive team," noted coach Doc Rivers. "If we can rebound the ball and take care of it, we've got a chance to break out and make a hell of a run." After all, as Giannis summed it up, "I definitely needed a win. When you win, you enjoy your sleep, your food, your time with your kids, and even interacting with your teammates more. I'm a sore loser. I'm not going to lie, we definitely needed a win tonight." With this record-setting performance, the Bucks proved that when they're firing on all cylinders, they can turn adversity into an unforgettable victory. In an epic showdown that could have easily defined the postseason, Nikola Jokic put on one of the most historic individual performances in NBA history, recording a 61-point triple-double, the highest point total ever in a triple-double. The reigning MVP, who posted a new career high in scoring, finished the night on 18 of 29 shooting with 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 steals, while playing a career high 53 minutes. His monumental performance came against the Minnesota Timberwolves in a game that ended in double overtime, with the Denver Nuggets falling 140-139 despite Jokic's heroics. The game, filled with playoff-like intensity, ultimately hinged on a critical gaffe by Russell Westbrook. With the Nuggets holding a 1-point lead as the buzzer sounded, Westbrook fouled Timberwolves guard Nickeil Alexander-Walker on a three-pointer attempt. An official review resulted in 3 free throws for Minnesota, and Alexander Walker made the first 2 with just 0.1 seconds remaining, handing the win to the Timberwolves in a heartbreaking finish for Denver. The Nuggets, already missing key contributors Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., had to rely on Jokic to shoulder much of the offensive load. His record-setting night marked only his first 60-point game and third 50-point game in his career, joining the elite company of James Harden and Luka Doncic, who have also recorded 60-point triple-doubles. Harden achieved his in regulation in 2018, while Doncic did so in a game featuring a single overtime in 2022. On the Timberwolves side, Anthony Edwards came alive in the fourth quarter. Quiet for much of the game, Edwards erupted for 34 points, including 6 points from back-to-back three-pointers that helped swing the game in regulation. Despite Westbrook's subpar 12 points on 4 of 11 shooting, along with 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and 5 blocks, his fateful call at the buzzer ultimately proved too costly for the Nuggets. Now, Denver sits a mere half game ahead of the Los Angeles Lakers for third place in the Western Conference and 2 games behind the Houston Rockets for second. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves moved to a 44-32 record, tying with the Memphis Grizzlies for 6th place and the final guaranteed playoff spot in the West. Stephen Curry lit up the arena in a performance that reminded everyone why he's one of the most electrifying players in NBA history. In the Warriors' 134-125 win over the Memphis Grizzlies on Tuesday night, Curry dropped 52 points while connecting on an astonishing 12 three-pointers, nearly matching his career high for threes in a game. This effort not only propelled his team to victory, but also cemented his place as the 3rd player ever to record at least 50 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 steals in a single game, joining the likes of Rick Barry and Anthony Davis. Curry's shooting display was nothing short of spectacular. He started the game blazing by connecting on his first 5 shots, including 4 three-pointers, setting the tone early and pushing his team ahead. By halftime, he had already amassed 32 points, tying LeBron James for the 3rd most 30-point halves since the NBA began tracking comprehensive play-by-play data in the 1997-98 season. His remarkable first-half performance saw him shoot 8 of 10 from beyond the arc, a feat that highlights his prowess as the league's greatest shooter. The second half brought its own drama. After Ja Morant's late three-pointer had momentarily brought the Grizzlies within striking distance, Curry set up Jimmy Butler to draw a foul near the basket. His subsequent free throws gave the Warriors a 7-point lead, essentially clinching the game. Curry finished with 52 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, and 5 steals, a stat line that speaks volumes about his all-around impact on the game. Beyond the numbers, Curry's performance carries significant implications for the Warriors in their quest for playoff seeding. The win moved Golden State past Memphis in the standings, giving them a critical advantage in the tiebreaker race for the number 5 seed in the Western Conference. Coach Steve Kerr couldn't hide his amazement, noting 52 points with people draped all over him all game long. I've been watching this for 11 years. Les, you get a real sense of just the magnitude of his talent. Meanwhile, longtime teammate Draymond Green modestly dismissed the notion that it was his best game, saying, "Hell, no chance." A reminder that even among legends, Curry's brilliance is consistently hard to top. After taking a week off to recover from a left pelvic bruise, Curry's rejuvenated approach is evident. "I feel in a good rhythm," he said. "The week off helped. The tank is pretty full." With his stellar performance and his milestone of passing Jerry West to move into 25th place on the NBA's all-time scoring list, Curry is not just keeping the fire alive for the Warriors, he's igniting it for the entire league. All 4 number 1 seeds have advanced to the Final Four for the first time since 2008, and that's raising some big questions. The 2025 NCAA tournament, characterized by a chalky first 2 weekends, now features a heavyweight finale that could be one for the history books. Auburn, Florida, Duke, and Houston entered the tournament with adjusted efficiency margins of 35 or more, meaning they were expected to outscore the average Division I opponent by 35 points per 100 possessions. That gap, compared to this year's number 2s and 3s, and even past national champions, suggests these four teams might truly be the best in the country. In Saturday's first national semifinal, SEC regular season champion Auburn, 32-5, will face SEC tournament champion Florida, 34-4, in a matchup that could decide which juggernaut from a dominant conference advances to the title game. Meanwhile, the other half of the Final Four could provide Duke 35-3 with its toughest postseason challenge yet, as the Blue Devils take on a Houston squad known for its stifling defense, rebounding prowess, and disciplined ball protection. Auburn coach Bruce Pearl summed it up after his team's win. The four teams that are advancing, I think they're the best four teams in the country. That doesn't obviously always happen. Odds makers have put Duke as the favorite among these number one seeds, and there's reason for that. Under John Shire, Duke is on pace to be the best team in a decade, surpassing even the Zion Williamson R.J. Barrett era and the Paolo Banchero-led squad that brought Coach K's career to a close. With emerging stars like Cooper Flagg, Con Nupel, and Kaman Maluach, Duke is challenging the notion that a freshman-driven team can't capture a national title in today's era of COVID seniors and grad transfers. As the Final Four looms, fans are left to wonder, are these four number one seeds truly created equal? With Auburn and Florida representing powerhouse SEC talent, Houston showcasing Big 12 grit, and Duke combining youthful verve with historical pedigree, this could be one of the most balanced and explosive Final Fours in recent memory. Next Saturday's games will tell all. The Final Four in the NCAA Women's Tournament is set, and it's a heavyweight showdown that pits the very best of college basketball against each other. Three of the four teams are number one seeds, South Carolina, Texas, and UCLA, while UConn, the only non-number one seed, is the underdog that simply can't be counted out. Despite being the lowest seed in the bracket, UConn is a storied program with 11 national titles and a chance to reclaim glory, especially with a rejuvenated Paige Buchers leading the charge in her final collegiate season. In one semifinal, UConn will face UCLA in a clash of cross-country legends. UCLA, the number one overall seed and rising Final Four power, boasts a dynamic offense anchored by National Player of the Year finalist Lauren Betts, a dominant force in the paint whose back-to-back 30-point double-doubles have turned heads. UConn, known for its offensive prowess and resilient play, will have to slow Betts down, while guard Azzi Fudd, returning next year, must ignite her long-range shooting to level the playing field. It's a matchup that transcends modern college hoops, a blend of tradition, innovation, and the fierce desire to etch a new chapter in the program's storied history. On the other side of the bracket, an SEC rematch awaits as regular season co-champions South Carolina and Texas lock horns. South Carolina, with a suffocating defensive identity that ranks 9th in opposing points, faces a Texas team that prides itself on defensive tenacity. They rank 3rd in average opposing points. For Texas, now in its first SEC season, this game is the perfect stage to forge a rivalry that could span years. With standout players like South Carolina's Mylasia Fulwiley and Texas's Madison Booker and Rory Harmon providing clutch scoring and lockdown defense, this battle promises to be as physical as it is strategic. So, who will emerge as the national champion? Odds makers lean toward Duke on the men's side, but here, with juggernauts on every side, the answer isn't obvious. If UConn can harness its rich history and the renewed energy of Buckers, it could upset the number one seeds and finally reclaim its crown. Alternatively, South Carolina's sheer defensive force or Texas's emerging identity in the SEC could tip the scales. UCLA, with its historic turnaround and star power, appears equally dangerous. In a Final Four where every matchup is a clash of titans, the championship could be decided by a single play. With legacy and future WNBA stardom on the line, one thing's for sure: this is women's college basketball at its most electrifying, and the road to the title is wide open.